You may have noticed that in my more recent videos, none of the footage of Breezy has been pixelated like the earlier versions. I've addressed the whole pixelation issue a couple of times in the past, but since then, a couple of things have changed that have made me rethink the pixelation idea. First is the potential for a retro look. Pixelated Breezy looks a lot more like a PS1 or DS game than regular Breezy. This was a big reason initially to go with the pixel art style, but lately, it's been less and less of a priority. The main reason for this is that, as I've stated before, pixelation just looks tacky. A good art style allows you to appreciate the detail that an artist puts into their work, and pixelation does the exact opposite. A lot of indie games are using a similar low-poly 3D art style to Breezy, many of them high-profile games with huge fan bases. The most important thing to consider in this case is art direction, which I'm still doing differently on the whole. I'm not using cel shading, a common technique found in these games, to make them look more cartoonish. I'm not using a first-person view or a dynamic camera. My game is viewed from a bird's eye view most of the time. There are still plenty of ways I'm differentiating Breezy from the competition visually, so I'm not worried about that. Another reason why I was going for pixelation at first was that, as I've also stated before, I'm not much of an artist. Back when I said that, art was something to work around. I used Unity's terrain system because I didn't want to have to model a whole world. I downloaded some bushes off the internet because I didn't want to have to use Blender. Well, now that I've actually bitten the bullet and started modeling more, I really don't mind it. I'm proud of it even. I don't really think it's necessary to hide my 3D models behind this quasi-self-censorship anymore. When I made a video addressing this issue, I talked about how the most important thing to do was to leave an option in the game for the pixelation. Of course, I'm still going to do that. However, I also mentioned that the default state of the option was still an issue. If I remove the pixelation, it'll affect the screenshots, the trailer, these devlogs, and even the logo and other important marketing. All in all though, I think this is the best choice. Full, high-res, 4K, RTX on gameplay.